Welcome to Covers' Puck Props with 14-year NHL vet Carlo Colaiacovo, presented by Sports Interaction, where two 40-year-old men are just looking at which live bets they should hammer Germany on in the World Juniors right now. Special holiday run this week, again, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, bud. Coming off a 12-unit, 13-2 week. Great to see your face. Happy holidays. Hope the family had a great Christmas, pal.
Yeah, it was a great Christmas. Santa was great to them, and Santa was great to us last week. And let's just hope post-Christmas Santa is even better as we embark on a new calendar year.
Ooh, let's go. All odds coming via Sports Interaction. Now, let me just ask you first this. It is a weird situation, right? The 3 days off, back into it. What are your takeaways on the restart coming out of the Christmas break?
These are always the toughest games to play because on any other normal layoff, there's a couple of days you're skating before you play a game. Where, when I first started in the league, it was only a mandatory 2-day, Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. And then part of our last CBA negotiation in 2012, we actually bargained for 3 days where so at least it gives you a chance to sort of travel to family if you wanted to, because the 2 days, it didn't really give you much time. So because of that now, it makes it more difficult to get on the ice. So guys that are playing today are probably either doing one of two things. They got in late last night or they're getting in early this morning to get a quick pregame skate in, or even just meet the team in the road city that they're in, and they're getting up for a game, using the warm up tonight to get the legs going, and then using the first period to sort of ease their way into a game. Halfway through the game, guys will start to get their lungs and their legs back, but normally these are the toughest games depending on where you're playing, home, road, just because you've gone 3 straight days without doing anything but eating, drinking, sleeping, staying up late, partying. So it's
what we like to call living the dream.
Living the dream. These guys are living the dream. Absolutely. Playing in the NHL, living the dream.
Eating, sleeping, drinking, partying. Ta-da. Last year, 12-4 to the under, the first 2 games back from the Christmas break. But the year before that, the overs were crushing. So I don't think it's a league-wide trend. But as you said, it could take some while to get the wheels back. But let's start off. Winnipeg, Chicago. We're not getting off this train. They have adjusted some numbers, but we're pivoting. So let's go. If you see Carlo's eyes dart up or mine dart down, we're watching the Germany-Finland game right now. Germany is an absolute overwagon, by the way. Going forward, they can score. They give it up. They're a team that you should be hitting over 7.5, no problem. This game was... Oh, I'm getting a spinny wheel of death. All right, I'm back.
Yeah,
let's go.
There you're back. You're loading. You're back. You're loading. Yes.
Ehlers, plus 150 for an apple. Let's go. They've adjusted my Velarde plays. I think he's like minus 170 for a point, which is where he should be. We'll talk about Velarde in a second, but there's some value to find on this line, the Scheifele, Ehlers, Velarde line. 30 total points. It keeps getting better. 30 total points over the last 5 games since Kyle Connor has been out. They face a Chicago team that is the worst in hockey.
Right now.
San Jose better?
Yeah. I think San Jose is better. I mean, look, Chicago, they're just very thin. And it's not that they're a bad hockey team. They're just very thin. Other than Bedard, they don't really have any household names in the lineup. And, this might be a trap game for Winnipeg in the sense that, because it's 3 days off, because it's the first game after a break, because it's Chicago, they might think to themselves, well, we might not bring our best effort, but we could still win not bringing our best effort. That's the only thing I fear in this game. But, I mean, nothing should stop the train that Winnipeg is right now, especially the line that Winnipeg presents too, with Ehlers, Scheifele, and Velarde, who is hands down the hottest line in hockey right now, playing on probably the hottest team in hockey right now with Winnipeg. And you would think that Winnipeg would be a little bit more mature, not to sort of overplay their opponent tonight in Chicago. Regardless of what they do, you're going to see goals in this game. You're probably going to see this Winnipeg line be too much to handle for anything that Chicago has a chance to match them defensively with.
So Scheifele's plus 10 for an assist, but Ehlers, who has an assist in 9 of his 10 games, is 40 points longer. They all have the same advantages. One of the teams that those three also play PP1. So I think this is a good pivot here. We're also going to hit Velarde for shots on goal. Minus
my
135.
favorite play right now.
I know, but I was tempted. I think this is the buy point, and if it wasn't such a great shot on goal matchup, which Chicago is. So basically, shot on goal markets, there's a neutral price, and then there's a price that's adjusted for the opponent. So this puts his neutral price right around probably minus 120, which is it's probably minus 130 is where it should be. So maybe 10 points of value on this. 7-0 to the over since Connor went down. We've hammered it basically every time. I don't know. Same shots on goal per 60 as Ehlers, who has a total of 3.5. No reason to get off.
No reason to get off. Stay on this train until it stops, right? Just because of all the things that we pointed out. You talked about how, Chicago is a team that loves to give up a lot of shots. Where do they rank right now in shots given up? You shared that with me. I just can't remember it.
Chicago, let's go. Since November 1st, they are bottom 8.
Bottom 8, right? And Adam Reckcamp on our chat here points out the Chicago PK is one of the worst in the league too, and that should help keep Winnipeg going as well. So look, there's a lot of things that factor in. Top line guy, going to be playing big minutes, feeling it hot, and the fact that he's a guy that is not shy to shoot the puck as much as he has, especially over his last 7 games, with the increased role that he's playing with the absence of Kyle Connor. So I love this play. I absolutely love this play.
Heading into the holidays, this was my betting card. It was like all 3 guys, at least 3 shots.
Yeah.
All 3 guys, at least 1 assist. All 3 guys to get a point. All 3 guys to get 2+ points. All 3 guys to get 3+ points. It was a good run.
And how many times did that hit? Out of the 7 times you hit it?
Basically most of them. I missed an Ehlers point on the 2+ in their last game for, I don't know, $25 bet to win $1,200. Like, right. There's certainly some value in some +2s. But I mean, we are going 3 plays on this game. It's like you said, coming out of the break, there is some variance. There is some things we could worry about. We could go 0 for 3, but I don't like the chances there. Winnipeg puck line on the road +110. I mean, Winnipeg 1 loss in regulation last 10. Chicago, the thing that you mentioned about some teams can come out struggling. I think the strength of Winnipeg, which we didn't even touch on, is the best goals against team in hockey over the last 30 days at 1.87, facing the worst offensive team in hockey in Chicago. I think that's the angle that can keep Winnipeg winning this 3-1 in a situation. And when you're playing the puck line, you always want to live or die by, you don't want to, but you usually do live or die by those empty net goals. Winnipeg, 5 empty net goals over the last 15 games. That's tops in the league. Do you see the Chicago offense getting better out of the break?
No, definitely not. I think, look, the way you look at it too is they're heavily priced on the money line. If you expect Winnipeg to win and keep things rolling the way that they do, you got to think that they're capable of winning by more than a goal. And you're getting value here at plus money on the puck line against everything that we just factored in that is going into Winnipeg's favor. So, don't lay the juice on the money line. Take the positive plus money that a good team can beat a very bad team by more than 2 goals.
Yeah, 3 little correlated plays there. Let's jump over to another game where we're adding a couple plays. Now, because, as Carlo mentioned, players weren't on the ice, there's not a lot of updates if there has been line movement, like line juggling. So you won't see us with as many player props today as we usually do. But happy with this one. Pittsburgh at the Islanders. Why not New York on the money line at -120? they're a tough team to back because they're scoring, they let in goals. But this line is showing that if this game was on neutral ice, Carlo, Pittsburgh would be favored by 10 points. And I really don't see that. The power play is getting going. If this team could get good goaltending right now, this is a team that's playing well without three of their best defensemen, basically, and they're still winning games. They're 8-2 straight up in the last 10 head-to-heads dating back to 2021. That's important. And one of the things I've seen, their last 8 games, the Islanders, LA, Toronto, Carolina, Edmonton, and Boston. They're 4-1 straight up in those games, with that only loss being a 5-4 shootout to Boston. So they've played good teams. It's not like this record is on the back of garbage. And Pittsburgh, kind of struggling, kind of not putting the puck in the net. Those things will bounce back, hopefully, in this game later with another play. But I like the Islanders here at home. And if they get good goaltending, they could go on a run.
Yeah, and our boy NHL Goalie Props chimes in here in the comments saying, Sorokin will make saves. Many, many saves. He's been a saves machine, betting the Sorokin over goalie saves each game that he's played. So, look, I like the Islanders here strictly in the fact that they're just playing better. They're playing way better. They're playing more consistent. They're a team that, is not you don't look at them and you see, a team that can score a lot of goals, but they're right up there in the league in the most goals scored over the last month of playing hockey. Even in the games that they've played, they've been over machines in the games that they've played against the Pittsburgh team. Like, let's be honest, you just touched on it. Like, on paper, they're good, but in real life, they're not. They give up a ton of goals. They don't play great defense. They get suspect goaltending. And, the Islanders, to me, would be the favorable pick for this one. And the over total, which is something that you liked as well, too, in this one.
Yeah, we're going to that next. But, I mean, Pittsburgh going top line heavy. They don't have a ton of scoring talent. I mean, Malkin's insulated with Drew O'Connor and Radim Zohorna.
Wow.
Zohorna, yeah. Like, that's not a name that's come off my lips ever. I didn't even know. And like Drew O'Connor was a guy playing on the top line, and he's only back because Jake Gensel's healthy. Brian Rust is out, and that team is a lot different when they don't have Gensel and Rust with Crosby, and having last change is going to hurt them there. But we got a total of 6 here, and just minus 115. And like, I'm happy with the push, but I think this is a great price. Pittsburgh has been unlucky. They have like a bottom 5 shooting percentage of 5-on-5 over the last 30 some odd days. That is something that can factor in, especially an Islanders team that is without. I didn't even know when we were betting. I was like, why are they scoring so much? Pelech, Pulock, and Mayfield all out for that. Like that is a big deal. Those are
huge.
Yeah, those are guys who are playing 20.
That's why Sorokin is making so many saves, right? I mean, he's just getting plastered with shots.
Yeah, what do you think about the over here? We've been backing, and the Islanders have shown that they can give up goals late, like with the lead. They've played both ways, so I think either team, game script wise, I like the over on both sides.
Yeah, I do too. It's a very favorable spot, especially if we can expect both teams to come out slow. They both got offenses that can score. The Islanders are feeling it lately. They trend in the over direction with their game. So I like that too. And Lurie Silva on the comments line points out as well too, that the last year the Islanders and the Pens met in the same spot first game after Christmas, and the Isles won 5-1.
Yeah, wow. The head-to-head's been absolutely dominated by the Islanders, including in the playoffs. I don't love it, but when you see 10 games over the stretch of like 2 seasons plus playoffs, it's worth taking notice. Some teams just play better versus other teams. Obviously, some people out on the Islanders, but happy to get here with maybe a little 4-3 Islanders win kind of projected here on that game. So let's get that. Another game that's projected to be high scoring. Needed to find a point here, and I was all over the board. Did we ever find out what happened to Sean Corelli? Wasn't that terrifying?
Very.
Like I was sitting there with a doctor. My buddy's an ER doctor in Pittsburgh, and he's like, "What was that?" Like the collision was like, did his wrist go through his arm? It was listed as an abdomen injury. So
yeah, and that's the thing. Like when you looked at the hit, you were trying to figure out how the injury that it looked like he suffered matched the collision on the play, because the collision on the play was a clean hit. He goes into the boards, he gets contacted up top, but as he's skating to the bench, he's hovering over and he's acting like something in his lower body just gave out. And thankfully, the players reacted on the bench. They got emergency medical attention to him right away.
Let's get the doctors on the bench side next time so Buddy doesn't have to tiptoe across the ice.
No kidding. So you're just thankful that whole situation, they took the necessary precautions and he's going to be okay. But yeah, bizarre play, with Corrali there, and thankfully he's okay from it.
Yeah, he's going to be a tough piece to miss. That guy played with he was gritty, he was snotty, and
he's one of those good role players, right? He knows his role and plays in the bottom six.
Doesn't have many,
yeah.
They got a lot of guys who can score, and like we've seen it with Columbus games that have had two-way scoring. But let's get Luke Hughes for a point here at plus 105. We saw Morgan Rielly get a lot of chances. Finished with 4 shots that game. Columbus is one of the worst teams at defending the passes or defending shots from the point. They collapse. They give it up. There is no shot on goal market for any New Jersey defenseman. So pivoting here, 16 points, 32 games, PP1. He hasn't had a point in 7 games. So his point clip was higher. He kind of hit a bit of a rut, but expecting two-way points, two-way scoring in this game, total of 7. I like this spot for him. I mean, is the break a perfect spot for someone this young and probably doesn't have to think too much coming out of the break?
Yeah, it is, because let's be honest, this is a young kid who's come into the season and embracing a much larger role than, I know he played a big role in his Michigan team last year, but you're comparing a college schedule versus an NHL schedule. So it's a lot of a load for him to come in and embrace right away. So sometimes the best remedy for kids that, are coming in especially off of a college schedule, is to get a nice break in the schedule and just sit back, relax, and just let everything sort of, breathe a little bit. And I think for Luke Hughes, this could be the perfect opportunity. You mentioned how, he went on a 7-game pointless streak going into the break. He's had his brother Quinn, who is lighting up the league. He's got Jack, who's leading the way on his team. It's just a lot to absorb for him right now. So maybe a step back, taking a breath of fresh air, and just allowing everything to just reset, come back in with a fresh mindset, newfound energy against a team that is a very favorable matchup for him, right? They find themselves giving up a ton of goals. New Jersey's power play needs to get clicking again. I understand the absence of Dougie Hamilton has really hurt their power play percentage, but this is a great opportunity for Luke Hughes to have a bounce back, right? I mean, a New Jersey team too that probably could use this reset as well too, not living up to the expectation that most people had about them coming into the season. And for Luke Hughes as a young guy right now, asking to be the lead guy on the back end, it's a good chance for him to step back a little bit and now get re-engaged into the fight.
Yeah, New Jersey sitting close to minus 220 favorite, total at 7, giving them the highest implied team total on the day. So points to be expected there. Was thinking about our buddy Jasper Bratt, but we already got a plus 170 from him. So let's right
before the break.
Yeah, let's get off that. So that's what we got for sure. Let's talk about the Leaf game finally here. I mean, you obviously have to lay big money with the Leafs. You have to go big money for the team total, big money for basically, I don't know, Matthews' goal, anything. What are you expecting in this game? Should we expect another disappointing game after a solid game in Columbus? Should we expect two-way scoring? What do you like in this game where, I mean, we haven't really got a coach's bump from the Senators yet either?
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you look at previous Battle of Ontario matchups, I think what you're going to see is two good teams go at each other with extremely high-end talent on offense. and extremely big question marks, both on defense and in goal. So if you have that type of recipe, what can you expect in the game? I think the over under the total is 7 in this game. So
7 minus 110 to the over.
I would imagine you're going to see a boatload of goals, but more focused on the Maple Leafs angle, it's the next generation game.
Oh God.
Which is, it highlights all of the next generation young kids that are, want to make a career in hockey, whether it's in broadcasting or reporting or, bench side reporting or statistical or whatever it may be. And in recent history, these games have always seen an outburst in goals. Now, in previous years and going back in history, these have always been afternoon games where you have more of the younger generation crowd in the stand. I'm surprised it's not that game today, an afternoon game. It's a night game, so I'm not sure if that plays a difference. But if there's
afternoon games, I'm not happy.
Yeah, I don't understand this. The NHL just knows how to screw up, and schedule spots. But anyways, going back to the next generation game, if there's one player who absolutely loves to thrive in these moments, it's Mitch Marner. So that's a player I want to focus on in this game. I actually like his point total over 1.5 plus 175 at some places. He just got reunited with Austin Matthews last game in the line shuffle that Sheldon Keefe had 2 assists as Austin Matthews continues his goal scoring prowl, with 2 goals last game. And I just wonder in a game like Ottawa where there's probably going to be an exchange of a lot of scoring chances, him playing with Matthews, probably getting their power play chances. That's good value for a guy that loves playing in games like this. So to record 2 points and get that type of value on it, it's sort of something I'm leaning towards.
Okay. Let me put in the banner. Let's show it. All right.
and another thing while we're on the Leaf angle, I know we talked about this, I think a couple of weeks ago, but are we at the point right now where Austin Matthews is an auto bet to score every game? Because we were there last year.
Minus 110 at Sports Interaction right now.
Like at that type of value for a guy that's got the hot stick and he's got 28 and 31 games. He's got Mitch Marner playing with him now again. This is no shot at William Nylander because he's been outstanding, but these guys have always had a good reputation of feeding off of each other and piling up points. I just think Matthews is an auto bet right now with the streak that he's on, and obviously Marner. I love that value at him to record 2 points.
All right, let's slap Matthews up there. Minus 110 is it's worth.
And I was pointed out to me earlier this morning on my show. Matthews, I think, is on a 5-game goal scoring streak. Let me just confirm that.
Yeah, keep talking. I got it.
But the last game where he didn't record a goal was against the Ottawa Senators. Yes, he's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7-game goal scoring streak. And the only game he didn't score a goal was against the Ottawa Senators, December 7th. So are we looking at somewhat of a revenge factor for Austin, who historically has lit up the Ottawa Senators?
He has 14 goals over his last 9 games. He's quietly going to lead the league in scoring. Like it's bananas what he does. So minus 110, happy to hit that. Overtime included. And then Marnie for over 1.5 points plus 175. We've seen the issues that Ottawa has in net on defense. And again, much like the Pittsburgh Islanders game, both of these teams pretty incredible at playing the catch-up game. So this game script, Toronto can do it going down 3-1 heading into the third period. Like both of these plays could cash just on that when that bench gets pretty short. There's lots to like about it. So all of a sudden we have this gigantic slate in a on a day where I said there's lots of variants, but let's go. Here's the recap. Nikolaj Ehlers. Don't forget the J. Nikolaj Ehlers over 0.5 assists plus 150. Velarde over 2.5 shots minus 135. And Winnipeg puck line plus 110 versus Chicago. That's a 3-pack in that game. Then a 2-pack in Pittsburgh. Islanders starting with the Islanders on the money line, minus 120, and the over, flat 6, minus 115. The over, probably play that to minus 125. Nothing at 6.5. Doubt it will get there, though. Then a little Luke Hughes reset, over 0.5 points, plus 105 in a game that has the highest projected team total for any team on the slate today. And then we go Leafs in a game that also has a 7-point total. Marner stays hot, plus 175. Plus 175 is still a solid price on Marner, even where he is. And then Matthews, anytime goal, minus 110. I failed you. SIA had their goals come up a little later in the day. If I saw minus 110, probably would have hit that. I think it is a play at minus 110. It's not a coin toss.
No.
Basically, that's what it's being priced at. It's
7 games in a row. I mean, the guy's hot. He's feeling it. He's in auto bet mode right now.
Yeah, and that's where we are. So let's have that giant slate today. Back on the ice. Appreciate all the comments there. The Caps have been successful against Metro opponents.
People are horny today for hockey. Yeah. I mean,
no
all the comments.
I did like the Capitals under. If there was a game that I think it's fallen to 5.5. But I don't love the Capitals money line. A bad offense that is might have to face Shesterkin. Haven't seen the goalie in that game, but that's where we are. It's the same as the NY. Exactly. As Renkem says, it's the Toronto game's the same as the Pittsburgh game. Let's do that. Hopefully some shots there. But tread lightly, as always, in these reset games. Try to find your spots. We've picked a couple games we like, and we've put multiple plays on those spots. Hopefully that works out. We've been doing that quite a bit, and it's been successful. So let's keep going. We're solid in December, and we're heading to the new calendar year, as he says. So let's call it a day. I'm Josh Ingles. He's Carlo Colaiacovo, looking up, seeing still 4-3 Germany.
Still 4-3 intermission. We got one more period. One more period.
Yeah, big one coming up. And I do like Norway being a little competitive in this upcoming Czech game.
Okay.
They weren't bad early. They weren't bad early in the last game. So let's see where that one is. Stay tuned for more World Junior content as well, as we're degenerately betting.
Do a World Junior show too.
Yeah. Who doesn't want hockey in the morning to afternoon? It's absolutely gorgeous.
I love it. It.
All right. I'm Josh Ingles. He's Carlo Colaiacovo. This is NHL Puck Props, brought to you by Sports Interaction. We'll see you here tomorrow, 10 a.m. Lead us out, Coco.
Ciao. Let's have some fun.